Hello, good evening, and remain indoors.
The most ridiculous thing about the whole Brexit debacle was the fact there was no strict plan on how to make it work. There were those who wanted to do the bare minimum, and that included a couple of prime ministers, to say the least. They would go, well, okay, we'll respect the people's choice, we'll try and renegotiate. Oh, you want actual independence? In that case, we'll do the most basic trade deal possible. You don't want it? Okay, well, here's a new prime minister, and he'll go and negotiate during a pandemic, and then you'll accept it because it seems like there's no choice. And then you can say, yes, Brexit is done. Ridiculous. Of course, there were more radical calls from certain quarters. Certain people like George Galloway, who wanted to go for a slightly different view. People like Nigel Farage, who wanted to go further in some regards, more towards the financial. People like Galloway were obviously going to be more on the left. And it's interesting that there is, in fact, a left and right view of what Brexit is, or what Brexit could be. But the fundamental thing that made them allies, and this is true of the Remainers too, what made the Remainers of different kinds allies, was the single issue. Should the Britain remain part of the European Union, or should Britain leave the European Union? And so obviously you end up with some very odd bedfellows on both sides. You end up with Jeremy Corbyn and David Cameron in the Remain camp, and Boris Johnson and George Galloway in the Leave camp. Very strange.